things are theory. So what we do, we'll put a limited things in videos only. Okay, so here is a file formats. So we'll see that one. Last time also, last batch also, I took almost 3 days, 4 days for only this storage only, because it covers lot of things. It covers lot of basic things mainly, like, yeah, BIOS, UEFI, MBR, GPT, like that. Okay, so here it is. We'll start file system. My voice is clear. Can you able to hear, guys?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
View the screen also. Screen is also can able to see, right?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Next, it's a file systems. In generally, different file systems are there, like a FAT file system, NTFS file system. Okay, so in a Windows we use, these are a main in Windows mainly we use FAT file system and NTFS file system. There are a lot of different file systems are there. Some are based on operating system wise, some are different on the usage wise. Like if you take a DVD, so DVD has different file system inside. Okay, okay. So different services use different kind of file system based on that one. Like EFS, encrypted file system. EFS, encrypted file system, like that. So there is a main file systems are there. It is just a file system. I want to tell one small point, that is, um, before we go to this one. So when you do format, for example, I have a D drive, I have a D drive, and I right click, I went to the format. Okay, I format the D drive. What is the meaning of formatting D drive? Anyone? Okay, what is the meaning of formatting D drive?
Deleting
Deleting
data.
data.
Deleting
Yeah.
data, right? So okay, good. Any other? So there are so many other things also will come up. Any other than deleting a data? Okay, so okay. So normally when you do format, automatically data will be deleted. Data will be deleted. So when you do format, automatically data will be deleted. But format does not mean deleting a data. Understand? Format does not mean deleting a data. But when you do format, compulsory data will be deleted. So what is that relationship? Because of that outcome, so we are understanding this one. Why people are leaving and all, connection, disconnection, internet. Okay. So what is this format? Is the format means defining file system. We are defining a file system. What is this file system? What is the file system? Means how you arrange the files. How files, or we can say data, means anything. Data means folder, files, executable files, whatever it is. How data will be allocated. Okay? So how allocated or arranged, allocated or arranged. How files or data is allocated or arranged. If you know, so the FAT file system. So the definition of file system is file allocation table, file allocation table, allocate table or allocation table. Okay, file allocation table. It means, what is that meaning? Allocating. I'm telling a thing, right? It's very simple way. For example, you have your wardrobe, or maybe bag, maybe your backpack, or maybe the grocery stand. Like my in front of me, I have a grocery stand, right? or maybe home, whatever it is. Like if you arrange properly, means how much place you are taking on a thing, how much size of the data you are placing here, like that. If you arrange data in a such a manner, so then you can utilize more space. Like for example, mom told you that okay, you arrange your wardrobe now, so you put all the clothes in your wardrobe. You said like, uh, job is finished but there is no space in left here. So if mom come and then she arrange beautifully, and you will get free space also. So what is the difference? The way of you are arranging it. So how you are arrange or allocate the data in the disk drive or in a system, so that we call it as a file system, that we call it as a file system. Okay, so different file systems are there to do it. So defining a file system, we call it as a format. Okay, which format? Fat format, NTFS format, ext3 format, ext4 format, xfs format. Like it is a format only, not to delete the data, but data will be deleted because of when you rearranging it. When you are rearranging the format, when you're defining the format, automatically for that to do the format, so it will delete the data and it will rearrange it. But where this do format it is, where this thing format it is in the disk, right? So in a disk, understand the disk. Disk means hard disk or anything. Okay, so normally if you take hard disk, disk means like if you take hard disk, you can have a plotter where data stores, data store in a plotter only. But this plotter is round one. Okay, you can take the picture also, like you can google it for a pictures. Okay, so plotter. So so it is hdd plotter, like this. See, can you see this is plotter, and this is a read and writer header. So it will read and write on the disk. Okay, so this is a permanent magnet is there. So if you like, you can, if you find any old hard disk, means old means non-working hard disk, completely the non-working hard disk. Okay, scrap hard disk. Like you can go to any scrap stores, you can find old hard disk. Like people don't use it. You can open that kind of stuff and you can see all the arrangements, and you can find a magnet inside of this one. It's a permanent magnet. It's not a normal black market. Okay, it is with alloy material. They'll magnetize that one. It's a permanent magnet. It's a very strong magnet. It is. You can open it, you can play with that one also, no problem. So yeah, when I played. Okay, so this is the platter. This platter is divided into tracts and sectors. Okay, so this is sector is a subdivision of track and a magnetic disk or a optical drive. So we need direct pictures on it. See, so each platter has a tracks. Tracks means that round one. Okay, so the track means you can see in here clearly. Um, the rounds, this we call it as these are a platters, and we can see the round things. It is like it is a tracks. In the track, the subdivision of the track is a sector. Subdivision of track is sector. You can see track. So the green one is a track here. Okay, the green one is a track. That in a part of track it is a sector. The part of track is sector. See, this is a single platter, and this is a actuator arm. So it has a read and write. It will read the data in that. And this is the tracks. This is that orange one or something. Red one is a track. Okay, and it's a track sector. So part of thing is tractor. Cluster means group of sectors. Cluster means group of sectors. So this sector, this sector, this sector combinedly called as a cluster. Combinedly called it as a cluster. Okay, so cylinders. So just before I we went, cylinder part. Okay, like this. This is the one. You can see this is the track one. For example, this is a track one. In this platter, this is a track one. In this platter, this is a track one. The combination of track one, track one, track one in each platter we call it as a cylinder. Call it as a cylinder. Now this is a dual platters. Normally in a single hard disk we have a single platters only. So earlier days we have a limitation of that platter kind of stuff. So means one single platter, for example 10 GB storage. Then you need a 20 GB. Then you need a two platters in the disk. If you have one platter, means it's a 10 GB disk. If you have a two platters, means 20 GB disk. If you have a four platters, it means 40 GB disk. If you have eight platters, means 80 GB. That platter size, the disk size increases. The platter is same size, but number of platters increases in a single disk. This size is also increases. If you want to see in a market or any place, check the 1 TB of external hard disk or a hard disk and 2 TB of external hard disk. Better check the hard disk size also. The size is will a little bit increase. Maybe now both are same sizes, but try to understand this is the size increases. Okay, because of one platter, 1 TB, two platters, 2 TB of technology. But later on days, the tracks are much closer in the platter, so more tracks we can able to define. In the more tracks means more sectors means more data we can able to put it in that one. So it depends up. So without increasing the density, so we can increase the capacity also. So that's the thing. Maybe you have seen videos also, right? So like Facebook also they're selling like earlier days 1 MB uh, um, disk size is like a one very big track they have to move the data. Now we are getting one small memory card. We are getting almost 1 TB of memory cards also coming with a very small handy size fingerprint. Okay, so this is sector, tracks, and cylinders. Okay, these things. So the platter having a tracks and part of tracks is called as a sector. Okay, so platter on the platter we have a tracks, and on the tracks it is sub part of track is a sector. Normally each sector size is 512 bytes, 512 bytes. Each sector size is 512 bytes. When you do in a Linux, in a Linux, when you do partition thing, compulsory will see that sector size. And these sectors has a numbers also, like we creating cd drive without seeing what is a sector and all. But in a reality, so sector number 1 to sector number 15, sector number 15 to sector number 1050, sector number 1051 to like this. Partitions are like this. For example, it is a sector number starting 1 to, for example, 1020. This is one partition, just for example. Next one is 1021 to 1021 to maybe 65032. Maybe you can take any number, no problem. So this is one partition. Like that we can able to get. For example, 1 to 120. So almost 120, right? 120 into 512 bytes is the size of that partition. It follows like that only. So if you take this one, copy. Good. This is the next sector. Again, next partition what start with the next sector number, and you can put like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not look good. This is one another sector. The difference between this number to this number, you have to subtract it. Okay, subtraction. So then the subtractor part into 51 bytes. That is the size of that partition. So that is like this is a sector size. Next, group of sectors. Group of sectors. means combination of 3 4 sectors, 4 5 sectors as a combination. There's a group of sectors, we call it as a cluster. In this one we call it as a cluster. Cluster in the hard disk means group of sectors. Okay, group of tracks in each plotter. It means track 1. Okay, so P1 means plotter 1. Understand, P1 means plotter 1. T1 means track 1. P2 track 1. P3 track 1. So like this. This is called a cylinder. Cylinder 1. Like this, track 1 in one platter, track 1 in one platter, track 1 in another platter. So this is a completely is like a cylinder. Like how many tracks are there, so how many platters are there, each platter, each track. Okay, so that is called as cylinder. So this is a normally we don't use this in a Windows operating system. Like we don't worry in a Windows operating system here. But usually if you are going to the Linux or Unix operating system, this plotters, cylinders, clusters defining, sectors defining, it is there. In our file formats, we don't define tracks and sectors. We define it clusters, but we don't define tracks and sectors. So we use high level format. Format means defining file system only. So what is that meaning? High level format means defining file system. File system means defining like a FAT, NTFS, ext for anything, any file system like we use in a different operating system. Defining a file system. In the defining of file system, important is defining the cluster size of the cluster. Also we can define high level format. Next one is low level format. This low level format we don't do it. High level format, low level format, we don't do low level formats. What is the low level format? Is defining tracks and sectors. Okay, so track, it's a hardware wise means we have to take the plotter and we have to design tracks and sectors on it. So you have to first draw the tracks on the plotter and then you have to cut the tracks into sector wise. Okay, each sector
Sir,
size is 5. Yeah.
is that a plotter or platter?
uh,
Plotter, when I searched in Google, like it is different.
1 second, again I will check. So right, it is a platter. Oh yes, it is platter only, so right, you're right. HDD. Okay, disk platter or platter. Platter only. I spell platter only, right? But I type plotter. Platter. So,
Okay, sir.
okay, platter only. Correct. Go to A. How much difference is? Right. Good. Thank you. Okay, platter. Here is one platter. Here it is a platter. Platter only. So this plotter. It will tell lot of names. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Okay, defining tracts and sectors on your platter. So how to draw all these things. So who will do this one? Who will this one? Manufacturer will do. Manufacturer of hard disk manufacturers only. So disk manufacturer will do this low level format. What is high level format? What we define the file system, that we call as a high level format. So what is the low level format? So defining tracks and sectors. Okay. So I told big story. So try can understand. So when you're defining a file system, so that we call it as a format, right? So when you do the file system, that the way of arranging the files is different in one file system to another file system. So for that one, so it will delete the data also. From changing a file system from FAT to, okay. So when you change your file system from FAT to NTFS, you don't need to lose the data also using CMD. So if you use CMD command prompt, so no need to lose the data also. Directly in the GUI mode, we will lose it, but we don't lose the data also. So that is one thing to understand. Okay. Mm. So that is called a format. Format means not a meaning of deleting a data, but the process of you're defining a file system to the drive. So obviously data will be deleted by general way. So what are the data contains in that one? When you change the file format, this one. Next one is we will get a dot. If my D drive is already NTFS, I format with the NTFS only. So what it is? Already it is NTFS. Now I am formatting with NTFS without any changes. Just I click on a format only. It is already NTFS. Again I am doing NTFS format only. So that time we should not delete the format, right? If you changes occur, compulsory data will be deleted automatically. Okay, automatically data will be deleted. But when you're defining same, what will happen? That time also data is deleting. So how it is deleting? Because we defining and redefining, redefine and redefine the file system. So that's why it is removing the data. It means it remove the data again. Start format means start arranging from the starting. Start arranging from the starting. For example, jigsaw puzzle. For example, puzzle only. No, 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 not jigsaw consultancy. Why it is came? Jigsaw institute is also there. Jigsaw movie also there. So Saw also there. Jigsaw is a end part of Saw movie. Actually. Jigsaw the puzzle only, right? Just for example, I am telling. You see, this is a big puzzle thing is there, right? So when you are arranging it, okay, and you want to put it again, what you will do? You will remove everything, right? So you will remove all the pieces aside, and you will put it back again. So that is what I'm saying. It is when you are defining or redefining the file system, compulsory it remove the data and rearrange it data also. And sometimes it may not required also, may not be required also without removing all the file system, all the data. Also, we can able to rearrange it. Okay. Mhm. Okay, so we'll go to, oh, I took lot of time on this one, but it is one time data only. So we'll see. You can try understand. So different file systems, FAT and NTFS. Every file system has a limitations. For example, FAT use yeah, 8K cluster size, and certain fats is also fat use 8K or 32K cluster size also it will use it. Okay, the cluster size is 8K. It means combination of multiple sectors as a one single cluster. Data stores in the cluster only. Data stores in the cluster only. And NTFS, for example, it is default. It is the cluster size is 4K only. What is this 8K and 4K? So I will explain in a simple manner, and also we'll get a few doubts why NTFS can store big files and more storage possible there. So here I will take a small blocks. Think like one thing. Okay, so this is for example, I'm using a fat file system. I'm using a fat file system. Each block is 8K. Each block means is a cluster 8K. Okay. Now for example, I have a data size is 10K only. Data size is 10K only. So if I put a 10K data here, so it cannot fit, right? So it will in 10K data, it will store 8K data here, 2K data here, remaining space 2K data is there. And I can't put any other data in this one. So I have to go to another one only. So if I have another file, for example, if I have a something 6K file is there. So we can put a 6K here, right? We can put a 6K here, but we cannot put it. So we'll put a 6K into separate 8K block here. Okay. So how much free space is there here? 6K is available, but I cannot put a 6K different data in this block. It is a should be left like that only. It should be left like that only. But in this one, so we cannot use this 2K cluster empty space. We can't use it. So how much we are losing here based on a 8 block size? So think like this. So here I can't able to use 6K. Here I can't able to use 2K. If you take minimum to minimum wastage is at least, if I take 1K data. So if you very simple file also has a 1K, right? So if a simple one single file with a one single letter, so that is also occupy so 1K. So maybe the data can be very less, but think we are speaking about case language only. Okay, 1K data is there. For example, I have a file 1K. How much data we are wasting here? 7K data space. The space is empty space. When you are arranging something, you are taking more gaps. Then what happened? That gap is not filling with any other things. So what happened? It has become waste here. Coming to the NTFS, take NTFS by default it is a 4K, so almost like a 4K space only. Okay, so each block is a 4K NTFS. I took NTFS. Okay, so and then I took a 10K, but each my cluster size is 4K only. So I put a 4K data here, and then I have to take more case here like this. 4K here. Now, for example, I put a second 4K, means totally 8K, 2K here. So then what is the wastage? 2K free space is waste. So if you compare with this one to this one model, if you see it is waste only 6K. It is 6K is wasted, but here it is 2K is wasted. If you take this example, 1K example, so if you take 1K as a data space, like this is a 1K, okay, in the cluster, and you are wasting 3K space. You have a 1K file is there, 1K file is there, you are wasting 3K data. But compared to this is a 7K, I am wasting here is lesser wastages. So that is one of the difference between FAT and NTFS. The cluster size is smaller, so then we can put a more data and big data also we can able to put it. So we can put a more data can allocate we can put it, and next one is so big size files also we can able to put it. We can put a big size files, and of course NTFS has a four features or five features are there, right? What are the NTFS features, guys? Quota, disk quota. Next, indexing or index or indexing. No one is telling. Compress. Two more are there.
encryption
Hmm, very good. Encryption. One more.
and security.
Very good. Security. Security. So these are the features of NTFS. And NTFS support. So fact usually like if you take fact 32 won't support more than 32 GB. Up to 32 GB disk space only. 32 GB partition only. If you take fat, 12 something is there, only flat it is shows. It support up to 4 GB only. But NTFS, they said limitation is up to limitation. They said it's up to 2 terabytes, but depends upon uh, operating system. So it depends on OS. Okay, so on depends upon your OS. Um, OS NTFS version also change. Okay, so the version depends upon OS. NTFS version is there. Okay, so to understand very simple, I leave like that only. So NTFS different versions are there. So different versions like a different support up to 2 terabytes and more than 2 terabytes also it will support. Okay, more than 2 terabytes also it will support because it depends upon OS version, and NTFS versions also different. So practically you want to test it, you have to need very bigger hard disk, more than 2 terabyte of hard disk. Okay, so next for flash memories like memory cards. Memory cards type means like SD cards are there, no? So for that one, now we are crossing. So we use FAT file system only. FAT file system only we are using. But nowadays we are getting more than 32 GB flash drives. Okay, 32 GB more than flash drives are we are getting. So mainly memory cards type. So what is the solution for this one is X exFAT support more than 32 GB space. Okay, like this. Of course, it is go to 32K cluster sizes, but still you can store bigger files more than 32 GB. Second one is big files also we can able to store. So like a big movies and all we can able to store. That is a exFAT. Next file system is REFS, resilient file system. Okay, so this is a resilient file system which is from Microsoft only. Resilient file system, not an open file system. It is a resilient file system from Microsoft. Okay, so it is introduced in Windows 8 only. Windows 8 only it is there. Okay, later versions. Next, it's introduced in Windows 8 and 2012 server. Okay, next. What is the use of this one? So each data is having a CRC value. Each data having a CRC or cyclic redundancy check value. So when you are accessing the data, what will happen? Data may corrupted. So data may okay, data may corrupted. Okay, so what happens? So it is protect your data. Make sure that data should not be corrupted. Okay. Mm. What it will do? It secure data uh, not to get corrupted. Okay, not to get corrupted. Secure the data means not to get corrupted. The data won't be corrupted. Data will be safe without getting corruption because of it is using CRC value. But it don't have a properties of NTFS. Okay, so this is the things about REFS. Next. As per your PPT, this is a PPT not provided by anybody. This PPT is a Microsoft related PPT. So it is given FAT, exFAT, NTFS, REFS related things. It is having a backward compatibility support for NTFS. Means you if you are a format is REFS, you can come go with the NTFS back again. Enhanced data verification and error correction, support for larger files, directories and volumes also. It is a very new for two, that's why I put it. Metadata auditing, journaling, security, and encrypting is a NTFS. So better I will put a under FAT. This is for this one. So I'll copy NTFS also. Then one single page has so many data. Guys, um, this is purely based on you only. So how do you cooperate each other? Then I'll that is completely your side only. Okay. So what I'm telling is I shared lot of files, right? So I shared lot of not much lot, but here these are all from day 1 to up to 18 days. From last 18 days we are doing this one. Okay, so today is 17 means 18 days, right? So when you got a chance means all 18 days files you can't do it. So take all the files and you people among already I told you should try in within your people only. So at least 4 or 5 people or all the people Okay, put a one meeting and you will talk each other. So like tomorrow is a Sunday, afternoon is free time, or maybe 1 hour maximum, 1 hour. Create a one link and sit together and start share it in a group, then everybody will join there. Okay, so what to do, how to study these things, we have hardly 1 week to 10 days only, maximum 10 days. Okay, so we don't have a much time. Okay, so what you will do, so go to all these things, make it as a group, make as a group like one person or a two-person, like a take, I'm doing all hardware related, one person will take a responsibility of networking, one person will take a responsibility of what we can say, like that. So like everything is sequential, right? So it's not a mixing also there. So go through the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, like uh, so what are the things we discuss for a Linux, put everything in one single file, because here every day has a different files. Today also I have a morning, if you take it is FSRM is there, morning is FSRM, of course FSRM we can consider as a server, as a or a file system also, but actual file system started from here, right? So actually file system, the storage concept started from here, and I started these topics here. So topic wise, copy the data, keep it in one place. So it is easy to study, very easy to study. While you do also, better to read it, and if it is a part of your particular topic, like a topic wise, separate files. One person will do it. So based on you, who is having a more interested to it, so do it like this, copy all these things and keep it in one single separate files. Then you can distribute to others, you can distribute it to others, so then others were easily study. Others means like you, one person done a networking, one person is Linux, another person is doing Windows 10, another person is Windows Server, another person is storage, another is backup. So what happened, so all are doing separately, means one person cannot do everything. Okay, so one person, one topic. So once you done your topic, then share it. Others will share their another topics. So you will get a complete materials in a separate manner. So that's my point. Okay, and why this is important, means if you write a notes, that is very good. First of all, you should be there with the notes. Okay, this is also helpful, like a, this is we are discussed at that time, so you can recollect what we discuss also. That's my suggestion point. Okay, refs, of course. Okay, next, file system, different file systems used by different operating system. Ext file system used by Linux. Okay, ext type of file system used by Linux. So different ext versions are there, like a ext2, ext3, ext4. The latest version is currently ext4. And in Linux, there is a one more file system used, that is called a XFS file system. Okay. Of course, different way of file systems also there, like a SAP file system also available. SAP file system also available for a swap memory purpose. File per uh, swap memory purpose. Okay, virtual memory purposes only. So in a Linux, Unix, same kind of stuff, they will use it. And another file systems like a NFS. NFS means network file system. Normally in a Linux or Unix. Okay, so for a just like a sharing file type, share file system type. So through network, if you are accessing CFS or Samba, file system name is CAFS or SMB. This is also we call, any name comes under like this. CAFS, Samba, SMB is also a file system, that is also through network file systems only. Uh, CAFS is a big definition actually. Common internet naming system. So when you are sharing the things, when you are sharing the things between Linux or Unix to Windows. Okay, so then this is more useful. Linux to Linux, Linux to Windows also CAFS file system is used. So another one is Samba. Actually, it is not a CAFS. It is a SMB share like that. You will get it now. So that is a Samba file system. So CAFS is a file system, and this is a service. So if you see when I type like this side you can see Internet Protocol is server message block. What is server message block? SMB. Okay, that's what is showing SMB share kind of stuff. Server message block. CAFS, SMB are both are same only. So CFS we said like a Samba file is like a sharing technique. SMB file system, and also that is we are in this one. So you can search it what it is. So CFS as an abbreviation, Common Internet File System, is basically enhanced or provide version of improvised version of SMB only or a file sharing. Also combined sharing of multiple device like a files, printers. Okay, not only file system like that. You can see NFS and CFS. CFS can used only in Windows operating system, whereas NFS is Linux, Unix based. So in terms of security, CFS is a better in the security than a NFS. Other than NFS, highly securable feature than CFS. So what is that one? So we'll see here it is. I write Linux, Unix, printers. To communicate with the printers also. CFS Samba is there. If you install Samba, this is the you install it. That's it. SMB means server's message block. So these are network related file systems we are using. Okay. Okay. So this is about your file systems. Of course, CDs, DVDs, EFS. One more we forget that is EFS, encrypted file system. Encrypted file system or encrypted files. That's it. Okay. So this is about your file systems. Once again, I will go once again down. This is REFS, FS utility. That is only okay. FS utility. Already we know FS utility. So if you want, I will put a FS lead. It is already